Like,
a little bit. You see your boy Harden?
Nets, of course.
Obviously, but why is he cooking?
40 ball.
I've been looking. Just for like content. I've been on Twitter just looking at the Talking Nets and all the other Nets fan pages, and they're all like Harden MVP, Harden MVP, and I'm like, he should be on that list. Like, he's carrying that team right now. Like, he is. Like, you can't even deny it.
It was so funny because the post game they had Nicholas Claxton as their interview or whatever interviewee, and they were like, "Hey, did you know Harden dropped a 40-point triple?" He said he had 40. What?
What?
It was so funny. He bent over. He was like, "What?"
Even know. They just knew he was throwing it up, chucking them. He was going up to the rim too, like grabbing his own rebounds. Like, my God, man. All I watched was the highlights, and every single highlight was just Harden. Like, there was no other, like, anybody else took a shot.
Joe Harris had 20. Jeff Green had
everybody else is scoring
15 and 9 and like 6 assists. Like, he was close to a triple-double too.
Mm-hmm.
But people think Jeff Green is old. Like, Jeff Green might be 34 years old, but let's not forget, Jeff Green and Kevin Durant got drafted around the same year. Jeff Green,
that sounds about right.
A young man.
Who did he start with?
Not act.
Was he in Phoenix?
He got drafted by. He got drafted by. Was it Boston or the Hornets or something, and got traded to Seattle on draft night. So he ended up with KD same year, 07.
Oh.
So everyone, I'm like, it was him. Remember, that team was stacked.
Came out of Georgetown, selected 5th overall by the Celtics. Yeah, wow.
Celtics, and got traded to Seattle that same night. And in that same year, I think, did Seattle even play in Seattle that year, or did they move to OKC that year, or was it the year
07? After? It was the year after. 08. Yeah. They came down. Because I remember KD in a Sonics jersey his first year.
So it was him, and then the next year, Westbrook. And then I think the year after that, Harden. You had, like, granted, by that time I think Jeff Green was gone, but you had a squad. Oh my God!
Imagine if OKC, imagine if they would have a dynasty, like 10 straight years type dynasty. They would be menaces in the West.
Westbrook at the 1, Harden at the 2, Jeff Green or KD at the 3 and the 4, and then you have
Ibaka at the 5, bro, or Adams coming off the bench at the 5, oh my God,
there's nothing you can do to stop that team. God, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter who you game plan for. There's nothing you can do to stop that team.
The word like super team didn't even emerge in people's minds when they looked at that team yet. But
you remember
10 years later,
we gotta get rid of Harden or Ibaka.
Oh God,
we gotta get rid of one of them.
Everyone thought it was just Miami's years. Nah, they were not the only. They were the super team that was destined to like be the best team to ever play basketball. And better than the Bulls, better than
the same team the Nets have now.
Low key.
Because I would rather Kyrie than Westbrook.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, Westbrook's playing a little better than he was at the beginning of the season, but right now, Kyrie, as often as he plays, when he plays really, really well.
I mean, like
all around, like scorer, defense since now.
Because
listen, Brody's had some monster seasons though.
He's had monster seasons, but you gotta remember, them monster seasons came alone.
They did, yeah, that's true. That is very true. And actually,
there was times where there was times where KD's like, "Bro, give me the ball."
Yeah,
your number 2 option should never have your number 1 option complaining about where's the ball.
I'll give you that.
Never.
I'll give you that. I think even still, Russell Westbrook has brought a different aspect to the game. He has kind of like that Kobe edge, but just couldn't score as consistently, especially with stars around him. It was the ego. It was the ego that was around him, because Kobe could manage with other egos. The other egos just had to know that the ball was going through him. He doesn't know that he doesn't have that Kobe level of ego. He shouldn't be at that level yet because KD was the number 1 option on that team, and Harden was still a better scorer than him on that team. Russ was just like an all around, like,
he's supposed to be a facilitator, which he ended up being later on. He was getting like 20 assists a game, which makes no sense because how you have less shooters on the team,
I know,
and now your assists go up.
Yeah, he was averaging like a triple double for like 2 straight years almost.
But that's what get me upset, because it was like, I feel like Westbrook's a better leader, He can take his team alone to the playoffs. Kyrie can't do that.
Yeah.
But I'd rather Kyrie with James Harden and Kevin Durant than Westbrook with James Harden and Kevin Durant, because Westbrook is still going to try to get his 30.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not your game.
Kyrie
when
will
Kyrie
still
is like,
know
that
his
is
role.
my game.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my 30. Kevin Durant, you get your 30. James Harden, if you want to get your 30, you can get your 30 too. There's enough ball to go around for all three of us.
Knows how to
but
manage.
if you want to get 23, 15 assists, 13 rebounds, do that. And James Harden's like, of course I'll do that. I don't need to score 35 a game like I was doing it in Houston.
So he's doing right now. And he's doing it even without him, too. He's doing it with whatever the Nets had given him, which is, I think, the craziest part of that all. And they're tied for first right now.
But you know what? It's episode 10. It's episode 10. It's episode 10. Most people don't make it to 10. We did.
Yeah, we got double digits now. That's crazy.
All the doubters, we made it to 10.
All the doubters. Shout out to our 15 followers on Twitter. We're getting some more media engagement. YouTube still needs to be up there, watch the videos. We look good. We're not out here looking sloppy. You got to put a face to the voice, Yeah,
I'm telling you.
How you gonna know?
Twitter takes a long time to grow.
Yeah.
But people, and if you don't know, if you don't know if you're subscribed on YouTube, just subscribe. Yeah. If you don't know if you're following us on Twitter,
just go check. I know you got the app on.
Watch us.
You've had the app on your phone. If you've had the app on your phone since it was a TV screen with the 2 dials, you know how to use YouTube, and go check that. Just get past all the YouTube premium stuff. That stuff is crazy.
Yeah. Every time you pull down the top of your screen
notifications,
on your iPhone, you got to get back. It's like skip trials. Why the video pause?
Come on.
Oh man,
they got to work on that.
Times.
Like we said, it is episode 10 of the DROD and Shaniac Sports Podcast. This is your boy DROD. 10. He's your boy Shaniac, the Helmer. If you didn't know the last name or the middle one, we're gonna start you off with just some weekly updates. One of the more major things going on right now is NFL free agency. There's a long list that ESPN is keeping a good track of right now. Shannon, we'll just start with our own teams first of all. If you haven't been paying attention, just know that the Patriots picked up everybody. Tampering, they need to get fined. That's illegal. All right, listen, we're through with that era, okay? That was the Tom Brady Belichick era. This is just the Cam Newton Belichick era.
They say you're not allowed to talk to any player before the beginning of free agency. 2 seconds into free agency, they got 7 contracts lined up. Bill Belichick had 9 contracts lined up, all non-Patriots. We have the monopoly on tight ends from this year's free agency. That was Jonnu Smith from Tennessee and Hunter Henry. We had a couple other big names, defensive linemen, Matthew Judon, a couple DBs that we got back, J.C. Jackson, who was here last year, and we got Jalen Mills from Philly, part of that Philly team that beat us in the Super Bowl in 2018. I like Jalen Mills. He's a good defender. And some wide receivers. On that team too? Nelson Aguilar. Yeah, he was on Kendrick Bourne. Too. Nelson Aguilar had a resurgent season after 2018. He was known as Mr. Drop a lot. Just couldn't catch a pass to save his life. Still won the Super Bowl though. I need to give that to my guy Evan Ingram. Mr. Drop a lot. Mr. Drop a lot. Well, I mean, he's still a free agent, right? I think he's still working out no, he still gets posted on the Giants page. So I think he's a Giant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's brutal. Regardless of Aguilar got picked up by the Patriots this past week, and so did Kendrick Bourne, 49ers guy that came up big when Deebo Samuel was hurt. I know he was on my fantasy team, and all I know is he got me some points that week. We re-signed a couple of the big names from last year and a couple of names that were here before that. We got Kyle Van Noy back, who was in Miami for a year with Flores. We got Ted Karras, also in Miami. And like I mentioned before, J.C. Jackson, who was a big part of our defense last year. He had 9 picks in the first 12 games of the season. He was getting almost a pick a game for the first 7 or 8 games, and he was going crazy. Shane, what is your team looking like? The New York Football Giants. So there's a couple things that I'm happy about. One, what was that? Yeah, that's one of the things, by the way. That noise. So we got the big cat, Leonard Williams, re-signed 3 for $63. I'm happy, but he better not be that guy that gets his contract and just goes into obscurity, because I'm we wasted a lot of money. Well, not wasted. Sit down on the offensive line and just not do any work. Nah. Remember, come on, bro. When he was on the Jets, he had half a sack through a whole season. Then it's his contract year. What does he do? He comes out here, guns blazing, flipping people over, getting sacks to win games, and it's like, okay, that's fine, go for it. But when you get your bag, make sure you keep that going, because if you go, I got my money, I can sit back, I will personally come and fight you. Personally.
Leonard Williams, look
No
out,
hard
bro.
feelings.
No, hard
You might
feelings.
crush me. You might crush me, but I don't care. I had to send a message. All right. My boy Dalvin Tomlinson, sadly, is on the Vikings now, but at least we don't have to play him probably once a year. And we're probably not going to meet up with them in the playoffs. I don't really care.
Like, he averaged, I think, like 3 sacks in the last 3 years.
But he was good. Like, he was good, but he wasn't like amazing.
He was a plug-in, like, take up 2 linemen kind of guy on the line. Big defensive tackle.
But then we got Kyle Rudolph.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he was on the Vikings, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, tight end, which we needed because we only had one receiving tight end. And like I said, Mr. Drops a lot was our receiving tight end. So now we have one that can receive and block. Evan Ingram can't block. He's too small. So if you can't catch and you can't block, what are you doing? Why are you playing? So
granted,
we have somebody
Rudolph's
who could do
numbers
both.
has been a little bit down.
Yeah, they've
but
declined.
He's still going to be an effective receiver, second option at least to Evan Ingram.
They decline, but at the same time, if you give him the ball in his chest in crunch time, it's probably not going to touch the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Evan Ingram, you throw it right here and it's
NFC
hit off his face.
Divisional. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then Giants they've signed a running back. What was his name?
From the Rams. He's gonna be backing up Barkley, I think. Is that
But people are kind of upset
Brown?
because it's like, Wayne Gallman has been amazing for us the last 2 years. So it's like, it's cool that you went and signed a running back, but at the same time, it's like, why do you keep overlooking Wayne Gallman?
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Gallman has stepped in to be the starting running back 2 years in a row and has actually done very well.
It was not Malcolm Brown. I'm looking that name up. Go ahead. You got QB. You got Rudolph, Leonard Will, Devontae Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Raiders backup guy, but he's going to be coming in.
He got signed to be our backup or our like third down guy or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah,
but it's fine because it's like, we need somebody who's like proven that he can get yards, but at the same time, it's like Wayne Gallman, even though it takes him so long to get going, you can never, like with Saquon, you give him the ball first down, first play of the game, and he can break off 60. Yep. Wayne Gallman, you give him the ball first down, and something will always go wrong. Like he will trip, or like he can't bounce to the outside, like he can't run through like something's wrong. But then by the third quarter, if you keep feeding him the ball, what does he do? By the third quarter, you look up 70-something yards, and it's like when you started the first quarter with 0 yards or like 3 yards, and he's at 70 by the third quarter. It's like, okay, he did something well.
Not bad.
And then Galladay took a visit to the Giants, and everyone's like, pick him up. I agree, but at the same time, I don't, because he wants $20 million a year, like Odell money. You're not getting $20 million a year, bro.
That it's definitely excessive. And he also actually went to go visit the Bears this past week too. I don't know where the Bears are in terms of offensive play. I think he'd be a better fit on the Giants. But in terms of his numbers, he was, for his first, I think they said 4 or 5 seasons as a Detroit Lion.
Yeah, he had more receivers more receptions than Odell. He was the fastest to it, like something receptions, right?
Well, there was something to that. From what I was comparing to, what I saw was the Calvin Johnson comparison, is that he had slightly fewer receptions, slightly fewer yards, and the equal amount of touchdowns in his first 5 years as a Lion. And they both played with Stafford. I personally think Galladay has had some really good seasons. Last year was absolutely a down year for him. Could have been playing hurt. I think there's some room for him on the Giants, especially. You guys have two good receivers.
I'm fine with it, but not for Odell money.
Yeah, he doesn't get Odell money for a couple decent seasons on the Lions. I don't think he gets that amount of money for that.
Even if you like Odell's making like 20 mil a year, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you give him 13 a year, because he's that good, like you said, he's put up Megatron numbers. If you give him 13 a year, that's fine. Well, I have to see what the rest of the market is looking like first, because you don't want to give him 13 if the rest of the receivers are getting 8, which is probably not likely. But you know what I'm saying, like whatever
Most receivers
Juju's
I think right
getting,
now are getting just below that. Yeah,
whatever Juju plans on getting, give him like 2 mil less than that, because Juju's not gonna get what he plans on getting.
He's one of the last few still up there.
I think he's better than Juju, because Juju said, "I'm a number 1 receiver. I'm a number." No, you're not. You're a number 2, and you got exposed this year. You're good, but you're still number 2.
Because the number 1 receivers on the Steelers could all be number 1s or number 2s, like anywhere you play them anywhere else. Antonio Brown was a great receiver, but look where he is right now. And that's, minus all the stuff that happened between all of that. Santonio Holmes was a number 1 option on the Jets that fell to a number 3 option on the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
There have been receivers in Pittsburgh, guys who emerged from like second, third stringers, come play number 1 for teams like the Patriots, come play number 1 for teams like Dallas. But
there's always here's the thing. The definition of what a number 1 receiver is different for everybody. Number 1 receiver,
it's based on a team basis,
that's what I'm saying. You could look at it like that, or you could look at it as, who is the guy who can get separation, and I'm going to know if I throw the ball to him, 9 times out of 10 he's going to catch the ball. Which is why I said Odell, even though Odell liked to play slot, it doesn't matter where you line Odell up on the field. Throw the ball to him, he's going to out jump the corner. He's going to out jump the safety. He's going to, on a slant route, he's going to break off 60 on a slant, because you can't tackle him. So it's like, that's why Odell, even though he's hurt, or every team he goes to, the media hates him, whatever, Odell's still number 1 receiver. Dude on the Falcons,
Julio
Jones, number 1 receiver.
That's
Larry
a staple
Fitzgerald,
number 1 receiver though. Larry
Fitzgerald back in the day. Even though Larry was a slot receiver on paper, was a slot, he still is technically now. Doesn't matter where you line them 3 up on the field, they're gonna catch the ball.
Larry could play anywhere. I'd give him more than just like a slot. So he's 6'3", he's like 215.
But that's what I'm saying. He lined up in the slot because he liked playing the slot.
It's similar to Odell.
But he's a number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Galladay is.
You're right in those situations. Galladay is, he can be a number 1 receiver on some teams. I don't think he will be on the Giants. I think Sterling Shepard.
Who else on the Giants?
Sterling Shepard has a better chance.
Sterling Shepard is not better than him.
Sterling Shepard had a really, really good year despite having Daniel Jones at quarterback. And even on the other end, who's the other guy? Number 88 or 87 or 86?
No,
Slayton.
Sterling Shepard is 87. Darius Slayton is a number 1 receiver.
Now,
in terms of talent,
Sterling Shepard was hurt last year. He showed out. Absolutely showed out. Sterling Shepard had a good year, but Darius Slayton had a consistently good game-to-game basis. And I think Galladay would be a number 2 or 3 option on the Giants still. Even still.
On talent, Darius Slayton is the best receiver on the Giants right now. And on top of that, that's Danny Dimes' favorite target. That's why 2 years ago, I kept saying, give Darius Slayton the ball. Like every time Eli would throw it to Shepard. And it's like, yes, Shepard might be better on paper because he's been in the league longer. Darius Slayton is a stud. The second Daniel Jones took over, Darius Slayton got the ball on every play. And it was to the point that it was kind of getting annoying, because it's like, bro, you got 6 receivers on the field. Stop giving it to Slayton every time.
But he was there for you guys. I mean, he had maybe 1 or 2, I think, late game drops. There was a game against Tampa that went bad, mostly because Brady got the ball back at the ends. And, if you don't have an option other than Slayton, because Shepard's hurt and Ingram's not catching anything, and you can't run the ball, what else can you do? Like, you can ask him to stop throwing it to him, but you're going to be guaranteed a terrible play on any other occurrence. I do hear what you're saying about Slayton. Slayton has a lot of talent. He's probably one of the better receivers on that team. I still think Shepard has a lot of good potential. He needs to stay healthy.
No, it's the one thing. Great. I love Sterling Shepard being on the Giants.
He's good. He has a
But
lot
it's
of
like
good
the same
potential.
thing. If Galladay gets there,
Mm-hmm.
give him the ball. It shouldn't be Sterling. I mean, it's Darius Slayton every time because that's Daniel Jones' favorite target. You
Of
start
course.
reading that, and then he starts throwing picks because you keep forcing the ball to him. That's why, what's his name? The dude that just got cut, not really cut, but cut from the Giants. The wide receiver. Man,
Golden
I'm blanking on
Tate.
these names. Golden Tate.
Yeah,
That's
small
why
guy.
he was getting upset because he's like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm open on every play. Stop throwing it to Darius Slayton every time. Don't forget, like, I might not have been a number one on paper, but don't forget, I put up number one numbers for a couple years. Stop giving him the ball. It's getting ridiculous at some point. And that's
You
why
got a point
Daniel
there.
Jones throws a pick every game. 2 picks or whatever,
Oh
has 2
boy.
turnovers, 3 turnovers every game. Daniel
Colt
Jones is one of the
McCoy
best
came in at the
quarterbacks
end of
on
that.
paper.
Oh.
He just doesn't show it on the field because he turns the ball over every 2
He
seconds.
again has a lot of upside.
He's
I
Jameis
don't
Winston.
know. You think he needs LASIK surgery? Is that the
No,
real
I
issue
think
here?
he needs to wear the wide receiver gloves. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, that was also proven not to be Jameis's problem. He needed LASIK. 30-30. That was his vision and his stat line 2 years ago. All right, so we'll run through some of the other big names that happened this week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, does not retire. He goes to the Washington football team,
They're
probably as a
winning the
backup.
division this year.
Their offensive output is still shaky. They have one good receiver, Terry McLaurin. The running back is okay. I even forget his name because I think he got hurt at the end of the season. What about Dallas? I mean,
Wait.
what about
Sorry.
Dallas?
One more thing.
What's that?
The Giants re-signed Nate Solder. So he's going back to left tackle.
That's good.
Left tackle moves to right tackle. Our line is going to be nice this year.
That's
So
good. Nate
I'm
Solder's a good
high
lineman.
key excited. So I might take that back. The Giants are winning the division this year because the Cowboys are still trash. It was Dak
If they
was
get their
carrying the team.
defense, if they get their defense steady for the entire season, that team is winning the division. Yeah.
But that's with all 4 teams. If the defense shows up, they win the division.
I mean, that's what happened last year, but you still
Washington was the only defense that showed up
the Cowboys
when they needed it to.
have the best offense in that division healthy.
Oh yeah, by far. Easy.
So I have them winning the division just based off of that. Even without that defense, they can give up 40, but they come back and beat you on an onside kick when you're down by 10. Atlanta. Choke. So yeah, like we said, Fitzpatrick, he's going on a 1-year deal, $10 million to Washington, probably as a backup, but will fight for the starting position with Taylor Heineke. He was the playoff standout last year that almost beat Brady in the first round. Andy Dalton. Oh my God. Do you think he'd get that extension this year? Probably not. Andy Dalton's the next big name. 1 year, $10 million also to the Bears. Couldn't find his place in Dallas. Didn't really have a great season last year as the backup. Did what he could, I guess. But he's clearly not the same quarterback as... I mean, what am I comparing him to? His years in Cincinnati? That he went to a playoff game
every year,
lost for like 3-4 years straight to the Steelers or to the Texans. Again, he's on the Bears, which I think makes perfect Bears sense. Yeah. That's about it. Corey Davis, I'd say one of the top receivers in the receiver market this year, goes to the Jets, and that's a big pickup. He had a really good season last year with Tennessee. Tennessee's actually lost some weapons. They kept their number 1 guy, AJ Brown, who had a phenomenal season, but losing this guy Davis, obviously because he's asking for the money that he got, and got 3 years, 37.5 from the Jets. Probably wasn't going to stick around, especially with all that tight cap space still left lying around. Marvin Jones to the Jaguars, 2 years, $14.5 million. Patrick Peterson, Arizona Cardinals standout, actually goes to the Vikings for 1 year, $10 million. Probably looks to find himself or kind of just close out most of his career. I think he's been in the league for a while. He's had some really good standout years, specifically one against Carolina in the 2014 season, 2015 playoffs with a 15-1 Cardinals team, 14-2 Cardinals team at the time. Shaq Griffin, big corner name from Seattle, number 1 corner from Seattle, goes to Jacksonville, joining Marvin Jones and potentially Trevor Lawrence after this year's draft. for 3 years, $44.5 million. Mitchell Trubisky, Bears standout quarterback, as we all know him.
Staying down a horrible way.
Standing out as a Bills backup from now on to Josh Allen, where hopefully he can learn a couple tricks. I don't know.
Imagine being the GM of the Bears and looking at Patrick Mahomes and Mitchell Trubisky and going,
and Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson
and going, Trubisky.
Like,
this is our guy.
Oh, man. Hilarious.
Yeah, that quarterback class, like the top, 10 picks. I think there were 3 quarterbacks taken, and it was, I think,
who went number one that year?
It was Goff number
Wentz?
1.
Oh, Goff.
Wentz number
That's
2.
Who it was.
And then Trubisky 6 or 7.
No. I don't think Wentz was in that draft. Wentz was
that 20.
I think Wentz was 2016 or 2015.
Let's see.
Because he's already on his second deal.
Wentz, Goff. Oh.
So Wentz was number 1 then. Wentz was definitely number 1 in the draft.
Oh, then that was before. That had to be 2015, no?
That's why I was thinking it was a different year. It's hard to keep up with all these drafts, man.
No, that wasn't, because that was Winston and Mariota, 15. Maybe 16, 17. Who remembers? Oh, it was Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Kaiser, and Mitchell Trubisky was the 4th taken from there.
Oh, 2016 was Goff, Wentz, and Paxton Lynch, who retired.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
So again, look, he's going to the Bills as a backup. That's probably where he's going to be suited best, learning from one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now.
He's not going to learn anything from. It's not Mitchell Trubisky's not bad at football.
Yes, he is.
He's not bad. He's just I don't know. The system he was in. He's not bad.
Nah, I couldn't even blame him there. I mean, he had a fully stacked defense for 3 straight years.
The offense wasn't that good.
Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns at one point. He had a decent running back. Who's our running back right now? And he's good because he gets mad yards on the ground. Bears running back. Regardless, he has an offense. The coach, Matt Nagy's probably mid-tier.
He's a good offensive coordinator. He was with who was he with before he got to the Bears?
It's not the Eagles, no?
It was either the Cowboys or it was the Chiefs.
Oh, I'm looking up that right now. It was the Eagles.
Yeah,
and the Chiefs. It was Eagles first, then Chiefs 16 to 18, then Bears 18. Yeah,
and
he's got experience. Yeah, he had Alex Smith at quarterback, and then transitioned into Mahomes. That's not bad. Eric Bieniemy is essentially the next guy to come out of that same system. So, there's a trail there, but I don't think he's a good quarterback. At one point, they were talking about the Patriots possibly trading for him or Mariota or a couple other names there. I was not happy about that.
Mariota is not bad.
He went out kind of sad,
him and Trubisky are like the same player.
Trubisky has Mariota's better with his legs.
Yeah,
better with his legs.
Trubisky's not bad with his legs.
I would not want Mitchell Trubisky as the quarterback of my football team. I don't know how the Bears did it. I know they got Foles and that was going to compete for it, and they still chose Trubisky over him. And that just, that's where that played out. I didn't like Trubisky at quarterback for the Bears. I don't think he's a good fit in any system right now because he just doesn't have good quarterback ability. He probably doesn't have the mental fortitude.
I think that's
arm
what
strength
it
is there.
Talent-wise,
accuracy is not there. I still think he has a lot to work on. I think Allen, much more talented quarterback, can actually
not even close.
Rep him out. Just
not
work
even
with
close.
him or something.
You don't come in third in MVP and go into a QB competition. No. It's no shot. He's there to be a backup. But let's move on.
Yeah. Did you see the Michael Brockers story come out with it was this week. So a couple weeks ago, when Jared Goff got traded to the Lions for Matthew Stafford, blockbuster trade, quarterback swap, everyone's thinking, oh my God, Matthew Stafford's finally going to have his chance at a playoff shot by Jared Goff, I guess. Michael Brockers, defensive lineman for the Los Angeles Rams, goes in an interview talking about the trade. Oh, Stafford is a much bigger upgrade than Goff,
and it's true.
To Goff, which is true. He's not wrong. The sad part is that this week he got traded from the Rams to the Lions, and now he gets to be with his former quarterback, who he said was a downgrade.
When
That
I
should be a
first looked
comfortable
at it,
locker room situation. Like
when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, he was added to the trade, because I didn't even think of anything of it. I'm like, oh, he was just added to the trade, whatever. And I'm like, wait, why would he say that? Oh my god, he got traded today.
yeah,
I was like, oh my god. I was
like you think it's a
oh
player
my
to be named
god.
later? No, that was like this week. Like,
I'm like,
hey,
Michael
we heard your
Parsons is too good
comments.
to be that guy. The player to be named later, he's too good to be that guy.
Yeah,
That was funny. I was weak. I was like, yeah,
bad
touch him up, my
situation.
guy.
Glad I'm not
Oh
him.
man, that's good stuff.
So, in other great news for this week's episode, me and Shane are going to be giving ourselves
Putting
to our
ourselves through
past
torture.
trauma. Yeah, just
I don't know why we're doing
reliving.
this, but
We're essentially going through stage like 4 or 5 of grief, and what is that? Bargaining. It's one of those. We're gonna end up watching the shortened recap last 4 postseason ending losses of the New York Yankees. I found some videos on YouTube. Me and Shane, quickly reviewed them. We, felt pretty emotional about them, and we're just here to show you where that lies now. It's 2021. It's a new dawn of the Yankees, as we say every year, and yeah, we'll see how we fare through the first video. 2017 ALCS Game 7, Astros versus Yankees. Astros took this series 4-3. I put asterisks on this series because this was one of their cheating years. This is courtesy of Sports Productions on YouTube. It was a great series. I mean, there was the Gary Sanchez bobble at the end of Game 2 that cost us an Altuve like score from like first to home on his horse.
He when you're like his hands go up here.
When you're like 3 feet from the ground, but you take jump strides, you're gonna make it.
Runs.
He could run like a 4.7 40 maybe. We ready? Let's do this.
Tell me if it's too loud. Tell me if it's too loud. We're just gonna watch the whole Game 7 highlight of the 2017 ALCS.
Enjoy.
Low
Watch
key,
with us.
before we even start watching this game, the way Charlie Morton came out the gates,
my God,
gunning, I said, oh man, we're gonna lose.
And this was a game that like we had a series, not a game, a series that we had fought back every single game after 2. At home, we were untouchable. At home,
I think they scored 1 run the entire 3 games.
Yeah, they got blown out in Game 3. It was like 8-0, 8-1.
Yeah.
Game 4, we had the comeback. That was the big rally.
Was it even a comeback? I don't remember the Astros even scoring. I think they scored that was 3 runs the entire 3 games.
No, we won that comeback like 6-4 or something like that. We were down like 4-2. There was a major comeback. Yeah. So again, we tied the series. No, we took the lead. Then we lost Game 6 at home because Verlander pitched. That was a complete game, no?
In Game 1?
No,
I
Game
think we
6.
Lost.
Game
6. I don't know if it was a complete game, but it might have been. Like the way he came out there gunning.
He dominated the Yankees.
Yeah.
It was the pitch. It was the pitcher before this one from Game 7. Yeah. It was Justin Verlander. He dominated the Yankees. So walking into Game 7, Yankees were on the edge, playing in Houston. Shane, roll the tape.
Let me know if it's too loud.
Yeah, we got you. Oh, it's perfect.
Like from that pitch, I was like, oh no.
There was a tone. No. There was a tone set early.
When he got Didi looking like that, I was like, oh, Didi. Oh god.
And everything was working for him. Everything. Fast curve change.
Good.
Oh, but CC.
Here's a tough play, Sabathia.
Because CC doesn't like coming off the mound. But playoffs, oh, Greg Bird. Oh god, nightmares.
2017-18 Greg Bird was one of my favorite players. I'm sorry. Luke Voigt came in and changed things up, obviously, but all Starlin. All Starlin Castro.
Oh my god. But he was slow though. When I saw
It's a
this
decent
earlier
slide.
today, I was
running
like,
the bases.
when I saw this earlier today, I was like, oh, Gary Sanchez is on base. Can you imagine? When was the last time we saw that?
Hicks was bad in this series.
Yeah.
That was his one downfall.
This right here was beautiful.
King.
I said,
absolute king. Crown him. King of New York.
Put it on him.
And he does it. Like, that's just what he does. That right field wall, if it's like 7-8 feet tall, short porch,
money.
It's an out. Just stop running. King. I love Aaron Judge, bro. That is my guy.
This right here, like, love Didi. Love Didi.
Yo,
but then there's
this
another
infield,
play.
highly underrated.
Nice.
Highly underrated.
Todd Frazier with Didi, Darlin Castro, and Greg Bird.
At first, that was an infield that I thought we would be seeing for a while. Maybe
not
with Frazier. Yeah, not with Frazier.
Yeah, but I thought like somebody.
God. Evan Gaddis, the
at
most
this
under.
Point, I didn't even have a problem.
He was the one guy who I felt was the scariest DH to be facing, just because he was batting without batting gloves. I do not like batters who bat without batting. They're just, that's fearless. That's fearless, truly. You ever get stung with an inside pitch that goes off like the midsection? Your thumb vibrating for like days? This is when the wheels start to come off. Reddick got a nice hit. Beat the shift.
He like.
But yeah, he came back. Yeah, that's right.
After all that, the Astros
like we only needed CC to really go one time through the lineup. He did that. Yeah, gave up one run doing it, but it's fine. Like, good job.
The Yankees sitting at one hit was pretty stressful.
See, this Greg Bird is like, bro, I know you came on contact,
terrible,
but
slide,
you're not fast enough. Yeah, exactly. You're not fast enough to slide directly into the plate. You have to do some type of weird slide.
Slide outside.
My
King.
God.
Also a king. He came up clutch with a couple of hits, especially in the wild card and the DS against Cleveland. Oh my God.
You remember his first game as a Yankee when he hit that walk-off? He got there in like the 8th inning and hit a walk-off.
That's right. Yo, wasn't Matt Carpenter on this team?
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. DH.
Not Matt Carpenter. Matt Holliday.
Holiday.
Yeah.
Carpenter's a pitcher. That's crazy.
So Matt Carpenter is the third baseman for the
third baseman. Jesus Cardinals. Yeah. I'm sorry. The video
had a
floating
buzzer
through
on
this
then,
again. Yeah, no, it was a trash can year.
Imagine.
Buzzer was 19.
This was the hit.
Oh no,
that hurt me.
McCann.
Because McCann is like, bro, you're a Yankee, bro. Stop. You're mandatory. Another Gary Sanchez bunny.
Gary drop.
Even though he wasn't going to get him out regardless, but like.
Yeah, I know, but just it's the cherry on top. Oh.
You know what that's a product of? That's a product of. That's gonna be called a strike at my ankle anyway, so I gotta swing.
So
stupid.
Didi.
This inning,
I hate watching Didi strike
I literally
out.
sat back watching. I was like, "This series is over."
It's the crowd. Yeah, I'm bro. 4-0. Gary.
And he looked in the dugout like that. Look at that. Where are you now, Lance McCullers Jr.? Where are you now? Bumming it up. I want to see that.
Bird into center. Springer says
brutal.
The Houston Astros win the
Pause video. Pause video. Just stop. Stop. All right, that was 1 year, and I already feel my blood pressure going up. Like, it's crazy to have to rewatch these because, again, Yankees had such like dominant, great teams, and they were underdogs in all 4 of these seasons.
Yep.
Even as the wild card, the 2 seed, 19. Yeah.
In 19.
Yeah, because Houston had the
19 we won the division.
Yeah, I know. So we were a 2 seed. We were in a wild card. We were.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because Houston won 107. We won 104.
Yeah.
The Twins won 103.
Mm-hmm. And then Oakland, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Oakland
was.
197 or something like that.
Yeah, they played Houston that year. Or was that Tampa? I think Tampa won, and they got bounced by Houston in the first round.
They
The DS.
they both won 97. Yeah, and then the Rays beat the A's in the wild card game.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Sean Manaea went out there and gave that leadoff home run to Yandy Diaz.
Yandy Diaz, yeah.
Everybody was like, "What?
What?
Who is this guy?"
So to follow suit, this is now the 2018 ALDS, the first Yankees Red Sox playoff series of the Twitter era, and I looked at my phone probably a record 13 hours a day. Yeah, because before that it was it was 04.
07 or something like that. Yeah.
06 or 07, yeah. And even still, like, Twitter came in, I think, 07 or 08, but it wasn't what it is now. Like, the community and the trash talking. That's what I was on my phone for. Yeah, 13 hours a day. 13 hours, I guarantee you. Again, a series came in as the underdog. Boston had, what was that, 108 that year? Wins?
Yeah, 108.
And we had 105.
We had 100.
Oh yeah, we went 162 even, which is it's a good like number. But I wish we'd won.
That should win you the division every year.
Yeah, I know. It's just Boston.
We're 8 games. We're 8 games back, and we won 100 games.
Cheating. Boston that year was insane. Cheating, but insane. Mookie Betts that year, MVP like worthy. Just the outfield, Benintendi and JBJ.
That was the last time Benintendi was good.
And JBJ. And even with JD Martinez at DH was
that
again
was
like that Red Sox that Red Sox year was unbelievable. He was on the top 3 Martinez for MVP that year.
It was Betts.
It was Trout, Betts.
I think Ramirez and then JD Martinez.
Oh, from Cleveland?
Yeah, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again, this is from courtesy of Sports Productions on YouTube. Red Sox, Yankees, ALDS Game 4, Game 3. We came off of a blowout. We got blown out of the water, the land, the sky, the atmosphere, the space, the universe. We got blown out.
That game was embarrassing.
16-4. It was terrible. I watched the entire thing. Me too. It was like having a pitchfork driven through your chest. That's what that
One thing
felt
I
like.
can't do is turn off a Yankees playoff game. I don't care how bad it is. I have to watch it the whole way through. Just because it's the playoffs and anything can happen. So when I saw Brock Holt hit a home run in like the 8th inning to get a cycle, I'm like, God. Brock Holt is I was so angry that game. I'm like, Brock Holt?
It's crazy because like the names we just mentioned before, the outfielders and JD Martinez, they played good this series, but the best players were Brock Holt hitting the cycle, Steven Pierce in this game and in Game 2 or Game 3, and who was their catcher at the time? Chirine? No.
Christian Vasquez or
Vasquez. His name pops up here.
Sandy Leon.
Oh, Leon was there, but I don't think it was him.
No, I don't think it was him either.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Vasquez. It was Vasquez, who I remember seeing his name pop up a bunch of times here, especially in this game, but also was on base like throughout the series. The one win we got was a good one. It was against David Price.
Gary Sanchez shoving.
Abused him.
Hitting.
He got pulled in the third, right? Yeah, that is his son. He got pulled in the third.
If David Price was still on the Red Sox, Gary Sanchez would be a Hall of Famer.
I just remember saying, like, after that game that we won in Boston, they're done. They're going to lose. They got to come to New York. They can't win in New York. Nobody wins in New York.
Washed.
Shane.
They washed us.
Run the tape.
They washed us.
CC on the mound again.
Left field, long run over for Gardner, and he's got it.
Shout out to Gardner.
My thing is when Clint Frazier gets out there and has a play like this, will I have to hold my breath? Probably. And that's what I'm kind of nervous about.
That season.
Yeah.
And a swing and a miss. He goes up the ladder again.
Oh my God, Yankee killer Rick Porcello on the mound for no reason too.
Did he win Cy Young that year? Or was it 2016?
No, I think it was Sale. I think he was 16.
Okay.
And Sale came in this game too, which is
of the second inning.
Brutal to watch.
Nunez on the left side.
Oh, Stanton. I forgot.
Oh, look at that little dribbler. I thought he was safe this play.
Yeah, me too.
That's close. Of course, Nunez, Eduardo Nunez, former Yankee.
Steve Pierce was a former Yankee too. It's like, yo, you stop hurting us.
Is?
Why does all the former? Yeah, he played in the Yankees in 2016.
In the air to center field.
Look at Hicks roll into the ball. Run.
Will turn and head to third. And another hit for Steve Pierce. He's 2 for 2.
Andrew
Boston
Chicken Tendies
knocking at the door once again.
Again, this guy's
the
year one.
The 1-1. High fly ball into the left center field.
You see how he runs? Like, I hate that. Like, he was still going to score regardless of what happened on that play, but if he ran a little harder to the ball and got behind it, you never know.
Should have every Aaron Hicks fly ball run out should be the one that he got in Minnesota to end the game.
Exactly.
That 14-12 game. Guarding. This was brutal.
He wasn't going to catch that regardless.
Watch the replay because you got to see how close he was. It was. Is this Ian Kinsler?
That's got the Yankees dugout stirring.
Look at this. Jesus Christ.
2 hits a hit batter.
If he takes an extra half step and he doesn't jump until after that half step, that's a clean catch in his glove. And now look at this, 3-0. Oh boy.
CC out of there, man.
I was kind of upset how they kind of let him like out there to dry a couple games, especially like these.
Driven into left center field. Benintendi runs it down.
But that wasn't even Glaber's A swing. Like, he looked like he jammed himself on it.
He might have caught the end of it.
Like, why are you swinging like that? Man? Oh, that's not Christian Vasquez. Oh, that is Christian Vasquez.
That's Vasquez.
So that was him.
It's a home run for Vasquez.
On Zach Britton in the fourth. I didn't understand this. Why is he in the fourth?
You had to.
I mean, I know CC was coming out pretty bad for the first 3 innings, but Britton in the fourth. You had a couple other guys. You had Robertson still.
That was low key before. That was low key before Green was lights out Green.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like he was nice, but he wasn't lights out.
But Green would come in and bail us out in those long, like early exits from those pitchers. Just not here.
And that was the first year Britton was on the team.
Yeah.
So they weren't giving him everything. Just from the injury, it was like, yo, take your time.
Little tapper.
So many of those hits. Oh, but this is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Yeah. This is a moral like booster, you know. Just a good beat.
This video gives me anxiety.
The 0-1. Popped him up. Left field. Benintendi came in. Going back.
That's Sanchez at third.
Matter of fact, both runners will tag in the third.
Yeah, look at him. Wheels.
It's a run for the Yankees.
He's got those.
Look at that. Sanchez was on base again.
He's got those 04 Toyota Camry wheels.
And a swing and a high
Hicks.
ball back out in the grass. Kinsler, he wants it. He's got it.
You see that guy on the left right there, Mookie Betts? Thank God he's not on the team anymore. Oh, man, thank God.
Thank God they made the wrong decision by taking Martinez over him.
Yeah. But they had no choice, though.
D-Rob.
David Robinson.
Miss him.
I
wonder how he's doing. How is he doing in Philly? Is he all right?
He was hurt last year.
Oh,
like the whole year.
Dellin.
Bogarts rolls one to short.
I can't believe Dellin's a Met.
Makes a play or two in the end.
All the teams that signed him.
Stranded in scoring position.
He grew up in Teaneck, so you knew he was going to stay in New York.
Stretch time at Yankee Stadium. 4-1 Boston.
What kind of face is that bird?
2-2. And a full right field. Betts the Gold Glover on the run in the corner, and he's got it.
See what he said, the announcer? That's the Gold Glover. Yep. You got to mention that.
He's stealing it from Judge. Get him out of there.
Andrew Benintendi. And he takes it
I love Dellin's celebration. I love his celebration.
That was the knuckle curve that he throws, that you think it's a changeup, and it just starts shaking. Like a 4.5 magnitude earthquake just hits the ball. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing you know, you're walking.
Everyone's favorite home plate umpire.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Retires him in order with a strikeout.
He's a real slim reaper.
Gets me tight.
Boston 4-1 to the ninth.
This is the inning that gets me tight.
Hold on.
So Chapman actually goes out there and goes crazy.
It's the ninth. It is the ninth.
So then you have this
Kimbrough coming up.
This bum about to come in the game with 2, 3, 4 in the lineup.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna score 3 runs this inning. We're supposed to.
We're supposed to, right?
We should be scoring.
Oh my god.
Kimbrough's a bum.
Here to turn 2. Here's a 1-2 and a swing.
And then you have Stanton swinging at everything.
He's still swinging at those low sliders. All the righties in the lineup don't swing at that. Him and Judge. It's just him and Judge. Nobody swings at that more than them. I mean, he's 6'7".
Not that tall.
Nah, he's 6'5". He's 6'5". Tyler Wade King. He 8'1".
He 8'1". I got hit by a pitch. I'm on base.
Let's go. Oh, the New York crowd.
Oh no.
No, it's after. It's after.
It's gonna get me so tight. It's
no,
this right here. Look at that.
That's a meatball. That's a meatball, Gary.
And then I see this, and I'm like, no.
Same reaction, Shane. Same reaction.
Oh boy, we got the ad.
It is a 1-run game.
Oh,
okay.
Here he comes.
This right here.
That Gary hit is what does it for me, but this is bad.
Look at this. I was hell bent. I'm like, he's safe.
Pause. Cut feed. Cut feed. Stop it. Can't watch it.
Do they don't show the challenge?
Review it. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do. Do we want to watch the challenge? Because
nah.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, safe. He's safe. He's safe. Because if we
what
win
it
this
was
game,
like.
series over. Because Sale can't come back and pitch again.
No, Price was coming in the next day. That's why I felt like we had the bases loaded. Gary hits the meatball, and I jumped from my couch. Like when I stretch my hands in my living room, my hands almost touch the ceiling. Even if I really, really stretch, my hands touch the ceiling. I jumped off my couch and literally like pushed off the ceiling to get back down on my legs. And then Benintendi catches the ball at the warning track, and I'm like,
I was like, what are we doing here, guys?
I'm about to eat all my words. All my energy is about to be expended for nothing because Gleiber hits a little dribbler. Pierce looks like USA Gold Gymnastics. Like, bro, how? And then, of course, Eduardo Nunez on the play. He got hurt after, but
I just stand when former Yankees hurt us. Like, stop it. Just stop.
Shane, this is my third time watching these videos, man. Getting through these is already hard enough, and yeah, Boston takes that series. Let's switch a gear. How about that? Let's talk about some other New York sports. In a sport that is fairly hot right now, considering they're coming onto the second half of their season now. NBA. Shane, the Nets look like the best team in the league.
My boy James Harden is out here, man, on a mission. Where's Mark Jackson? Mama, there goes that man. Oh,
that fan should have been screaming MVP at him the next game. I know Kyrie was pulling through for y'all that game right after the
Kyrie dropped the 40
All-Star
ball.
break.
That's why they was like, and he did it.
And then
Didn't he
Harden
do it
did it
against Boston?
Yeah, he did it against Boston.
Yeah,
he dapped
that's why they
everyone
was
up in
screaming
Boston. No hate. And then Harden dropped the 40 ball, but not just the 40 ball.
40 ball with a triple double.
40-piece McNugget with 3 sauces.
When he caught the rebound at the end of the game, he was like, and everybody's like, yeah, dapping him up. And then Nicholas Claxton didn't even know. I think we said it at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
He was like, he dropped a what? Bent over. He was like, oh my God, he dropped 40. I'm like, 40, easy too. He didn't even have to struggle.
Watching them not even know and still like get through all this, like he dropped 40, and then you realize after the game that he's actually like not just 40 but a triple double, and now you guys are tied for first in the East and probably the best team in the NBA. Like it's just it's business. That's how they're just handling business right now, right? Like you walk in, you clock in, you shoot, you keep shooting during the actual game time, you win, and then you walk away. Your star player had just dropped 40 points. You didn't even know it.
Think about it like this. Blake Griffin ain't play yet.
No, he almost clapped for Detroit. That was his most exciting play on the bench. Oh yeah.
I do have a message for Blake Griffin though. This is a short one. I know you signed for the vet minimum. I know you did, but you still have to play to get a ring. So you can sit on the bench all you want. If you never suit up, you don't get a ring. I'm just saying that. Like,
he's gonna bring his representative Anderson Varejao from the 2017 season.
He played during the regular season though.
Hardly. He got traded halfway from the Cleveland to the Warriors.
Then
played like total of maybe 30 minutes all season.
Hey, he played for the Warriors. Blake Griffin been sitting there in Letterman
If all you
jackets,
need is 30 minutes, he'll come and play. If all you need is 30 minutes for the ring, and it's crazy because that was the year Cleveland won. Cleveland, this is for you. And then he didn't even want the ring. No, he didn't want it.
He didn't want it, but he got it.
He got the Cleveland one. He could have, regardless of the outcome, he would have gotten a ring.
Yeah, like Tyler Clippard in 17.
Oh yeah,
and he played for the Yankees and then played for the Astros, and it's like he got a ring.
He's like, he got a ring. And I did not like Tyler Clippard, bro. I did not like that man. Him and his goggles. The Knicks have lost some ground. They're the 8th seed now. They played some tough games. Obviously, Brooklyn, Bucks, Philly, the top teams in the East. Came down to the wire, though. I mean, to a lot of them, especially against Philly, against Brooklyn. You guys had Kyrie and Harden healthy for that game. And it came down to clamps, defensive plays off the inbounds. It was Kyrie, and then Harden got triple teamed, and he couldn't find the outlet, and then he turned the ball over, and then Randall pulls up for a 3 to take the lead. Or
it was to tie the game.
It was to tie?
I think
it was 114, 111. It was
something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, so it was to tie. Oh, yeah, because I was thinking how if he had fouled him and plus a 3, it would have been 4 to win. But all that aside, Kyrie tips the ball just slightly, just a little bit, as he's pulling up. Randall knows it. Knicks know it. Nets kind of know it, but they're selling it. So Randall comes back down. He takes 1 half dribble, pulls up to shoot again. Stop the play.
Yeah, he hears the whistle, yeah.
Travel. Everyone's like, whoa, Scott Foster. Let's review the tape. No, let's not. We didn't have any challenges after that point. Yeah, we didn't have any challenges, so, But of course, like the entire last 2 minutes of the game, the refs had taken their sweet time to review everything. Challenges, non-challenges. Every foul call was under a microscope. Bro.
It was like the longest 2 minutes of basketball ever.
And then this one, we're going home. I put in my 3 hours.
It was a travel.
Thanks, Scott Foster. Huh?
It was a travel. The NBA even confirmed it. They sent out a memo and they confirmed it.
So here's what I got for you. I'll get the spam email from Lens Crafters that I got the other day, and I'll just forward it to you and Scott. We'll see how you can rewatch the tape after that.
Here's what he did wrong.
Randall?
He knew he got blocked. He knows that was all ball. He didn't argue that. That's not Julius Randle's argument. His argument was it came loose.
Yeah.
Scott Foster's argument is not if it came loose. We saw that it came loose. The issue is it came loose. You caught it again, gained control, had enough time to grip the ball, put it back down on the floor. But if he let go of the ball first before he landed, it would have been fine. He landed with the ball in his hand.
You're not thinking that in your split-second decision. He went up. He got tapped.
Why?
How?
Because how late did the whistle come in? The whistle didn't come in until he was back up shooting again. And
I know.
Travel. Yeah. You can't do that.
Okay, but it's not a travel because he came down with the ball and he actually dribbled. He actually did take a dribble after that. It was a quick one with his left. He has to pull up with his left again.
No.
It's a fluid motion.
Here's the difference. If he got blocked, gained control, let go of the ball, then landed.
Why would you let go of the ball? Kyrie's still standing in front of you. He could rip the ball.
Because you gained control of the ball again. Then you landed. And it's not like you really lost control of the ball. The ball was still in your hand.
That's still a legal move.
That's a travel.
If you lose control, if you lose control of the ball while you're in the air and you grab it again, you'd have to dribble.
Basketball. It's not like he lost control of the ball.
I don't even have a ball around me. But he did.
He was up. He was still shooting.
He was here. He was at his chest, maybe his neck at highest, and the ball was smacked. Bro, Kyrie Irving was down low. And when he smacked
that's what I'm saying. It got blocked down here. He still came up, realized, oh, I don't really have full control of the ball. Let me go back down. If he went back, if he let go of the ball, let it drop, picked it back up and shot it, that's fine. He gained control of the ball, dribbled, and then came back up. But it's like, you can't do that. You landed already.
Yes, you gotta let go of the ball before you touch the ground. That's still a legal move. He dribbled, and then he pulled up the second time, and then they called the travel after he pulled up the second time.
It's a travel because he landed with the ball, then put it down.
That's fine. He didn't move.
That means he gained control before he came down. You gotta let go of the ball on the block.
But that's the piece that's missing. That's the ruling. That happens all the time, especially the 3-point shooters, where they pull up, they'll get smacked, they're blocked, whatever. When they regain control of the ball, they're allowed to dribble after that and move around. They don't have to pull up and shoot after that.
What happens on the block?
On the block, the ball is moving away. But that's on the block. On the strip, it's the same thing. The ball moves away. Now, Randall, the ball was still in the air when he got the ball back. It was
still in his hand.
That's what you're arguing. No, it was out of his hand. Like the ball moved in his hand. Okay, bro, if it's a millimeter, or you need whatever, you don't have to get a ruler out to determine if the ball's out of his hand.
He still had one hand on the ball.
The ball was spinning in his hand. It was turning. He lost control.
Regardless. When I saw it live, I was on your side. When I looked at the replay, I was like, oh, that's a travel. That's a travel.
I looked after the game. I looked at it from almost every angle, almost every opinion. Most people said that Randall was right, that he had the right to dribble and pull up again. It wasn't a travel. That's genuinely what people think, because that's genuinely what people saw. And most of the pros said it. Dame said it. I'm not going to argue that we could have won the game in other ways, or we would have lost regardless.
That's not important. What's important is that play, like you're saying.
That play, Scott Foster has to get right, because every other play was viewed under a microscope. They took their sweet time, challenge or not, and the refs have to get that single one right, because that's a game like deciding shot.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The refs sent out a memo and said it was the right call. So regardless, they were going to call it that way.
They would have had to put that out, because then the game gets put under suspicion. Of course they put it out.
It was an NBA. It was my biggest thing is Julius Randle. You know the rule. You can't land with the ball in your hand after you get, and then go back up. You got to do something. That's why. And my biggest thing is, here's how I would have called it. If it happened under the rim, what would they have called? And they would have called that
nothing
lock, and he went back up. Nothing wrong.
Right.
Nothing wrong.
They would have called that nothing. But what's the difference if it's at the 3-point line?
That was my biggest issue. Even though they got the call right.
So they say.
What would have happened if it was under the basket? Julius Randle would have picked the ball and went right back up.
Even if it didn't touch the ground, he would have went right back up.
That's what I'm saying. You can't call it a travel at the 3-point line and not call it a travel under the basket.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely some discrepancy.
Even though both of them should be travels, you can't call it at the 3-point line and not call it under the basket. That was my biggest issue. When I saw that, I was like, if that happened under
from my own perspective, you're right about that. From my own perspective, he lost control of the ball, got it, dribbled, pulled up, which is all legal, because the dribble counts as you transitioning the ball to shoot. The regaining possession is what happens after a turnover. That's what every team does after a turnover, right? You pick up the ball,
but when it wasn't a turnover. That's the issue.
It's not. Well, you're right.
That was the issue.
It's not the turnover. But if you lose possession, let it go. Losing possession is not even a gray area. Once you lose possession, it's almost it's in the same essence of that turnover, like umbrella term.
He literally should have just let the ball go, because there was still enough time for him to pick it back up and shoot. Just let the ball go.
I understand that. The only difference is that Kyrie's still standing right in front of him. And if he lets the ball go, that leaves room for Kyrie to literally just take it from him.
Kyrie probably would have fouled him, because remember, he jumped off to the side.
Well, he smacked it. He was a little to the side, but he was still in front of him. He was coming back to defend that second shot.
I gotta go back and look because when I saw
we'll
the
take a look
slow
at it.
motion of that
We'll take a
second
look at it.
shot, it looked
Yeah.
like Julius Randle was up there by himself, chilling when he went
No,
back up.
Kyrie was getting ready to defend that second shot. He had his arm up ready. Like
Okay.
if he had dropped that ball, Kyrie probably would have been like fighting. There would have been a jump ball, maybe at worst. Regardless.
But then at the same time, if he dropped the ball, he can't blame anybody.
I mean, there's also
because that means he's following the rule. He dropped the ball. If it gets stolen, what are you gonna say? All he has to say is he blocked it. I can't go back. I can't grab it again.
There's a lot to that play. We got to go look back at the tape, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, where the Knicks and Nets lie, regardless of all those plays, is not decided by that. The Knicks have lost some ground, still playing good defense, but they've kind of let up offensively. They lost the other day. God, I'm forgetting who. They lost last week and put up 12 points in the fourth quarter after putting like 35 up in the second quarter. I mean, just, didn't finish clutch, lost all the scoring opportunity they had. Knicks need to find their stride is pretty much where we're at. I know they play at Orlando tomorrow night and don't play again until Sunday and then Tuesday. A couple must-win games. I think one of them is against Philly again. But
my thing
nonetheless,
with the Knicks, if you guys aren't going to get the 5 seed, it doesn't matter where you finish. Just make sure you're in the play-in tournament because you're going to be in the play-in tournament regardless.
The only people, we'll be in the play-in. The only people in front of us right now are Charlotte. Right. Oh, 6 through 11, they expanded it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the only people in front of us are Charlotte, Atlanta, and there's one more. Miami's the 4. Who's the 5? It's Charlotte, Atlanta, and someone else.
Boston.
And Boston. That's it.
Or
and
they're
only
one of the 2.
No, Miami's the 4, Boston's the 5. No, Miami's the 4, Charlotte's the 5, Atlanta's the 6, Boston's the 7. Knicks are the 8. Yes. I looked at those yesterday.
That's crazy.
And they're each only like a half a game or a game in front of us. So, a lot of room. And again, nonetheless, NBA shaping up still pretty good. There's been a lot of good games. Sixers, Bucks, and Jazz are still flying high, top of the standings. And of course, you can't forget the Nets, tied for number 1 in the East. Shane, do we want to get back to?
I don't, but let's do it because this series, the next 2 series were the ones where I really got upset because of one man in particular. So let's get back into this. Let me go find
the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is a real Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't care what happened in the 60s.
Let's get back into
this. My lord.
As we got music in this one. 6 of this league championship series, and it's all about the bullpen. It's a bullpen game, and we really don't know what to expect.
That was the first
happy music. Happy music in this one. This isn't a happy moment for us. What is this? Brad Peacock, literally out of nowhere pitcher. Yeah. Oh, that's right, the starters, because they had Chad Green. Yeah.
15 games during the regular season for the Yankees, and the Yankees won 11-4. Here's one into left center. Well hit back to the track.
Chad Green, I don't think he was ready to be an opener. I think he has to see the game happen in the playoffs. For him to just roll up and start a game. No, he was great in the regular season as an opener and a reliever. But for him to come in and start a playoff game, I don't think he was ready for that. Because he was just grooving right down the middle.
Shane, you could easily see. Obviously, I'm joking. You could easily see that Yuli Gurriel had a buzzer on this type of pitch. How are you swinging on a jammer and yanking it to the left field that would have been like mid-tier, almost second deck. This was the playoffs where Didi hit that grand slam against was Minnesota.
Very tough time in the playoffs.
Did he hit a grand slam against Minnesota?
Yeah, that was a series before, and he tried to pimp it, and then he didn't pimp it.
Oh yeah. It was awkward.
Shout out to Gary. Shout out to Big Maple, Cameron Maven.
Oh man,
this team should have had it.
Here comes AJ Hinch. Josh James is going to come into this ball.
Josh James goes gas.
That is on the outside.
He gonna drop a change up in there like that. That's so disrespectful.
Umpires on. Crook. Bro, that should not have happened.
Here comes Ryan Presley. Bases loaded. D.D.
Barely remember this guy.
In. Slow chopper. Presley off the mound.
Oh yeah, he got hurt.
I would have tackled him.
You would have tackled. You win. Wasn't that A-Rod against
right there?
Who was that? Slapped the ball.
The Red Sox, I think.
Yeah, I forget the pitcher.
New pitcher for Houston.
I remember Veritek ran after him, and then they started a fight. It was 0-4. Gio.
Here's one in right center
Oh
field.
yeah.
We gotta go to the Yankees game this year. I don't care.
Oh, this is Bob Shepard. He goes, Gio Urshela,
with his second home run.
the happiest fella.
Homer. Gio Urshela, the most happy fella. Oh, he's the most happy fella.
God.
That's supposedly a song from the 60s or something like that.
I mean, of course it is, right? Like, it's all these guys like pretty much put in for the Yankees.
That was the most unnecessary dive, though. When I saw that live, I was like, what? What was the point of that?
He had to get pretty low for it. This was the same year J.J. Redick almost killed Lucroy, no? He ran into him at home plate, like shoulder first, tried to avoid the tag, and literally like broke
What
his
team
face.
was Lucroy even on?
The A's? I think this was
This
that
was
same
2019.
season. Yeah.
No,
That seems-
that wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it was.
So the A's, remember the A's were a wild card team.
Bregman, Gurriel, and Correa.
Watch, this was a double play. It was like, what type of nonchalant turn was that? Get rid of the ball.
Well, that's on Gleiber, not on Didi. Didi
No,
got the
both of
ball
them.
and he flipped it to him.
This play right here burned me.
Yeah.
I cried. I was in church watching this game. I cried.
I was at home. Hearing that Houston crowd go like crazy, it was already giving flashbacks of 2017, but like so many in this specific game, so many demoralizing factors that led to DJ LeMahieu doing what we all know and love. I kind of hated it. I'll explain why. Hey Gary,
To second.
look at this. Like
That's the
Quite
thing at that
literally.
was like, I wish we had JT Realmuto because he would have beat that out at first base.
that's just acrobatic between their infield.
This was the moment where I was in church trying to be quiet because I didn't want to get too excited.
I was like, oh, Gio's on base. Well, that's a good start. And then Gardy gets caught up in the change.
Here it goes.
DJ.
I was watching on my phone.
Yankees
Like,
front office didn't know exactly where he would play. He can play all over. He's been
he
anchored
can
at first
hit.
base, and all he's done in a Yankee uniform is hit.
He's hit.
3-2 pitch.
James Harden and
hit.
Russell Westbrook in the
Oh
back.
yeah, Brody and James in the back.
The wall, this ball is
King.
And all DJ did was
for a home
I would have done cartwheels.
run. And this game is
Strong
Reverse
silent type. If you ever see The Sopranos, that's literally DJ LeMahieu. The strong silent type. Whatever happened to the strong silent type?
Of Springer into the right field seats.
Yeah, drop your
What a
head.
dramatic
And then
You
here
mad
this
about it,
ball.
right?
Watch this now. Watch this now. Here's where everything
Well, I
goes
mean, it's
down.
clearly the worst part of the video.
the ninth inning, and a
Well,
roll is Chapman
the
is
worst
in
part
ball
and then
game.
the absolute worst part. This is a pretty bad part because he's got two
That's
outs.
fine.
Top of the he's got 2 outs. This is the top of the lineup. He's got to fight back on that.
No,
Start
you
throwing him in
walk
the zone.
Springer. Springer is more of a chance to take you deep than this one.
But
Walk Springer.
really? Look
Walk
at the
Springer.
outcome. Look at the outcome
Look at Springer's postseason numbers
against lefties too.
against everybody. George Springer.
Springer's their number
hits-
one hitter, and he's a good sprint. All right, you can pause the video. I'll give you that because we don't want to watch the. Don't pull the jersey. Don't pull the jersey. Don't pull the jersey. It's a new tattoo, everyone. I don't want you guys to see it. It's a surprise.
George Springer hits
Hey.
bombs. Plain and
Of course he
simple.
does. But I would have rather him come back and fight back against Bregman, against Altuve, because Altuve was due for it. You walk their leadoff guy. Who's gonna get you the who was the one who scored those runs in 17? Those clutch runs. Who got those clutch hits in 17 and in this series? It was all Altuve. Every single time he was on base.
Who was the one that broke the record for World Series home runs, postseason home runs?
It was Bregman this year, of course.
Springer. That's the guy they want.
Oh, I'm thinking Bregman. Wow.
Springer.
Again, Altuve literally had the outcome. That was the negative outcome that they had. Listen, I mean,
but you know why? Because he threw a cement mixer slider,
and he had
even though he had a buzzer and he knew what was coming.
He did throw the worst slider in baseball history. Worst slider
he probably threw all year, and you threw it right there. Of course, he's gonna take you deep on that.
And I don't know why he wasn't throwing him fastballs, because nobody was catching up to the fastballs in that game. Nobody was. That's how he struck. That's how he got the first 2 outs. That's how he got the first 2 outs.
I agree. I'm fine with it though, because Jose Altuve, even though he's one of the best hitters, or he was, or whatever,
right?
One thing that man can do is hit a fastball, any speed. So you throw him a fastball couple just to keep him honest, throw a slider in the dirt.
That's just the fear that I would have had, because I would have liked Springer out before that. And I know what you're saying.
And he threw a
Springer was the man, especially
control
that series. Well, and that's the other aspect about Chapman, is that Chapman will get you into good situations or start you off terribly and then get you into a good situation.
David Robertson again.
It always comes down to his fastball control. If he doesn't have the fastball, he starts throwing the sliders, and the sliders start getting hit, or they don't hit the zone like the fastballs. And then the fastballs hit the zone sometimes, and he still chooses slider as like a backup. Like, I've thrown too many fastballs. Let me just hang this one here.
Guess what though? He has a splitter now.
That man's gonna be dangerous this year.
He's gonna be
bonafide
because
Cuban missile.
Now he can throw that splitter, and it looks like a fastball coming in, but it's gonna come in at 94 instead of 102.
And next thing you know,
I can't wait.
Quicksand. Ball just drops.
Right,
Shane, this
arguably the worst.
This
loss.
is
I hate
probably the worst
loss
loss
19
of all of them.
But this was we had this series in the
Shane, the music in that last one pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
that little happy cherry.
It is a peaceful setting, but it is anything but peaceful here.
What's happy cherry about this series? We should have had.
The 6'8" Tyler Glasnow.
Our ace is on the mound, and he absolutely destroyed them.
On the hill, it's win day. His last 10 starts, the
Glasnow was
are 10-0.
Still killing us though this series. I'm not even gonna lie, because
he will be out there and throwing as hard as he can.
In this game, well, I mean, because we took the lead.
Look at that swing. That should have been a home run. You got the best fielder in like the history of baseball in center field. Makes no sense.
8 pitches, a 1-2-3 inning.
Bro, that man is 6'8". Go get a rebound, bro. Get off the mound, get a rebound.
Historic contract this
every Rays pitcher is like 80 feet tall.
For moments
or
like this,
like 5'3",
or 5'3", like 280, and just throws like 100 miles per hour fastball.
Exactly.
And then there's the crown prince of pitching, Garrett Cole. Yandy takes a seat.
Look at when Garrett Cole this game
started bad,
proved to me. Look at Yandy Diaz again. Garrett Cole in this game proved to me how much of a stud he was.
Absolutely. He said, "Let me walk the bases loaded right here." He said, "Let me walk the bases loaded here real quick, just so you can get your head in the game, and then I'm going to take you right out." Baptized. Baptized.
Gio Urshela.
So the go with him is happy. I think he strikes out here. He's the goat.
There's a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Glasnow strikes out Urshela. There is out number 2, and that's strikeout number 1.
Glasnow was like, I broke my finger when I was younger, so my middle finger is bent. So all of my fastballs cut. So he's basically throwing a 100-mile-an-hour cutter.
3 strikeouts now for Cole.
And that's his 4-seamer. He's like, I hold it like a 4-seamer, but my middle finger is bent.
And the 2-2 and a fastball.
So it moves like a 2 or a splitter.
Garrett Cole.
After this first inning, nobody saw the ball after that. Look at that. He didn't know where that ball was. He just swung his bat. He didn't see that one. He didn't see
that little step back. Garrett Cole, look at here, the little shoulder swing.
Rays had him on the ropes. Rays have the shift on.
Just
Could make for an awkward double play opportunity. There's
my lord.
This whole game, umpire was getting tight. Both sides.
And Higashioka is out.
He wasn't giving Judge a break with those ankle fastballs for strikes.
Now is out. With DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, this was surprising. Why'd they take him out?
That's what it has brought him here.
Because they said one time through the order.
See, the analytics were running heavy for the Rays.
Was that Gardner just slid into? I would have took him out.
Got himself in another full count.
LeMahieu was at bat, so it was definitely Gardy.
3 times up, and he chased one that time at 100.
Brandon.
Wow, a little over aggressive.
He didn't see the ball. Of course he's aggressive. He's just hacking at something. He's got the MLB The Show hit meter, the big oval. It's like down here. That's like his shoes.
Hold on. Let's go back.
Randall.
Look at him.
He didn't see the ball. The umpire didn't see the ball.
No. Garrett Cole.
I know.
Look at that.
The umpire didn't see the ball. Of course it's a strike. 100 miles an hour paint, and it was outside.
Did you see the pimp he did? He looked like he just hit a home run. A little step off the mound.
Our boy, right here. Bink.
Now Judge in the air to right field. That ball is well hit.
Crown him, Shane.
Looks up and it's gone. Aaron Judge gives the Yankees the lead. First run of the ball game on a Judge opposite field home run. So the Yankees.
I think Aaron Judge.
I was sure.
I think Aaron Judge needs. Oh, what? What?
Look at that.
Just
3 and 2 outs.
Look at the celebrations.
Oh, and that was a changeup too, right?
Ooh, that was a slider.
91, yeah.
Ooh, 99. Like that pitch, I was like, that wasn't a strike.
Well, Higgy as a framing catcher, the strike zone is like here.
This hurt. Watch this. This hurt me.
It hurt him too. Bonk.
It almost broke his neck. Why is that even a feature?
Yeah,
in the
why
field?
is the right field fence like that? Why has got a lip pointing to the outside? They built that stadium wrong.
Easily.
They built that stadium wrong, bro.
He almost broke his neck.
And then Fox will handle the next.
This had me weak.
He thought, because Gardy was at the track, and I was like, deep breath. Let's go. How does left field not have it, but right field literally has a handicap there, like for home runs?
Gardner is there to make the play.
Look at all those pitchers.
Chapman threw.
There's a stable of guys.
September 1st. 3-2. Brasso sends one into left field. Gardner going back, and it is.
Let's pause it right there because that at bat. I wish I had the video up of that at bat because Stanton threw fastball, swing and miss, fastball, swing and miss. It was like slider in the dirt, fastball up and away or something like that, slider in the dirt again, and then he threw fastball, foul off, fastball, foul off, and it's like okay,
he's catching up.
I get it.
Now you know that the slider from last year is lingering on his mind, which is why he didn't want to throw it. That's the only reason. And he admitted that because he figured from last year, his slider just went awry. Altuve got a jump on it, and he probably had a buzzer. But to drill him fastball here is not a bad move. I think it was location. Again, control and just where the ball ended up.
That's their best hitter against lefties. Like, on paper. Like, he crushes lefties. He's a horrible fielder. Can't really hit righties. He literally plays against lefties. You throw him, you groove a fastball. Basically, inside corner where it's the turn and burn. Clear the hips and swing as hard as you can. When that's the third straight fastball after he fouled off 2, you would think, let me throw something else. I don't care what it is. It's 3-2. Yes, you don't want to walk him, but you also don't want to give up a game-leading home run. So you groove him a fastball in their third to a guy who crushes lefties? That's easy work. Let's look where that pitch was. It would have ended up right. You see my mouse?
Low and
it would
inside.
have ended
Low
up
inside.
right here.
It was low and inside at 100.
Come on, bro. In her third. And then the way we lost the game hurt even worse. Because I was sure that was a double. Watch this.
Tampa Bay on top on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Gio Urshela.
This right here hurt me.
Last hope for the Yankees.
Because I'm like, it's Gio. He's going to hit a double. That's what he does.
In this ninth inning. And he hits a bullet. Oh, and it's caught at third
on the
by
fly.
Wendell. And that's it.
Joey Wendell the bum.
The Tampa Bay Rays in 5 games take down the Yankees.
All right, let's get out of here.
Garrett Cole, 5.1, 1 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks. That's how he finishes the 2020 season for the Yankees. And the Yankees could not pull through.
That hurt.
I don't even know what to. There's a feeling that I've gotten every single time I've watched these videos, and it's a numbing feeling on the back of my neck.
Dang.
I'm gonna look up what that is. It's got to have a name. I'm sure there's like a German term for it. Wow. Yeah. To have to watch all that stuff again, man, it's terrible. And listen, like, you could be an Orioles fan. You could be a fan of a team that has lost in the ALDS and not come back for a while, or has lost in the ALCS or the wild card every single year, or has won to the World Series like the Dodgers have before past year, and lost them out. This hurts because the Yankees are expected to be in the World Series every single year since 2016, I'd say. Every single year.
Since 2018. 2017, we weren't expected to even make the playoffs.
I think 17 was still no, because
remember we missed the playoffs in we missed the playoffs in 16. 17.
Oh, I actually meant to say 17. 17, we were expected to be in the World Series. I'd say after we went to the ALCS.
No,
we got to the CS.
Still the Astros. The Astros won 100 and
when we
100
got
that year.
to the, I know, but when we got to the CS, the Astros didn't have Verlander that year, did they? No, they did.
Yeah, they did.
That was their first year.
They did.
Every single year since 2017, the Yankees are expected to be World Series contenders, per se. And every single year they've fallen short to 1 or 2 at-bats, 1 or 2 pitches.
It's really just 1. I wouldn't even go to 2. It's the 1.
Well, the last 2 years was Chapman's for sure.
Yeah.
The offensive was Gary's in 2018. And
2018, yeah, Gary should have hit that.
That should have been a rocket. That should have been A-Rod territory on the 3rd deck.
Oh my God.
That's the 412 section. Power? And then 17, I'd say that's our hitting still. That 4-0 loss in the series finale, we kind of went outside.
Against Lance McCullers, like that was the year when I was like, yo, the Yankees cannot hit a curveball.
Yeah. And off speed pitch. Yeah.
Like sliders, the lefties hit sliders, but that Lance McCullers and Charlie Morton, all they were doing the whole game, fastball, curveball. There was no sliders. It was literally fastball, curve.
Change.
That they pitched the whole game to 2 of them, and that's their 2 main pitches. Fastball or sinker with a curveball. And embarrassed. We got embarrassed that game. The amount of bad swings that we saw in that game. And it's like, we play in the Bronx. We're used to the crowd being crazy. Why was it that the Yankees in Houston that series were a shell of themselves? Like, I understand they were using the cameras, so you're going to give up your hits, you're going to give up runs. But to not score? Nah, that didn't sit well with me. We didn't score at all. Like that in those 4 games, I think we scored like 4 runs the entire 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was rough.
Brutal to have to watch this over and over again. Brutal that it's still on YouTube and I haven't reported it yet.
I know.
For emotional distress. Shane, we're going to end our episode with the last weekly update. Really quick, because, all we've got left is the MLB, really. And they're still in spring training. That's pretty much the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Yanks and Boone. Boone, who's back, thank God. He had a pacemaker.
Yeah, the heart scare, yeah.
Yeah, a little heart scare, but should be back for the season, healthy for us as a coach. They kind of talked to him about, what the roster is going to look like and, who they're bringing up. There's a bit of a fight at the end there between Dietrich, Wade, and Bruce. And, I mean, the way he responded, it seemed that Bruce, as the guy who was currently healthy and currently hitting and currently playing the most amount of spring training games, I think, for the Yankees, is set to be the guy to come up to start the season.
Yeah,
on the bench, but
he said it. Well, he also did say at the same time, it's not about what you're doing in the spring, it's about what you've done in the past. That's what he said.
Yeah,
what you've done in the past, which means I still think low key Tyler Wade is going to be on the team regardless, because you have, I think
he's got a Yankee factor
because he's the fastest guy. He even though he can't hit, he's an elite base runner. Even though last year he was getting me tight because they kept putting him into pinch run for everybody, he kept getting doubled off. Whether it was not doubled off, he kept getting picked off, and it's like, Tyler Wade, bro, we know you're fast. Everyone knows you're fast. Stop taking these huge leads.
I also think his issue, personally, for the Yankees, I like hitting wise, strategically, like they don't bunt enough. They don't do enough like hit and run, squeeze plays just for him to get off the base and do something with that speed. It's going to be reliant on how hard are these guys going to hit the ball down the line, in the gap, up the middle for him to get to second, third, or home. And if he's not getting on base by his bat himself, he's probably not going to factor in this season.
He's a bench player, so what he's really going to do is come in as a defensive replacement, because at the end of the day, Gleyber still sucks. He has to show us something. He cannot play shortstop. He's not bad. He's just not good. So if it's like a big moment, Gleyber is not better than Tyler Wade. But here's my thing. The bench is going to be Higgy.
That's a stretch.
Backup catcher.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Higgy, Gardner, and then the next two spots are up for debate. You need a backup shortstop, so you're going to throw Tyler Wade. And then the last spot is between Bruce, Dietrich, Andujar, Mike Ford, Mike Tauchman,
Florial.
Florial, they're going to leave him in AAA because he hasn't really played much.
And then the other guy is Estrada too, but again, hasn't been a factor.
You only need one backup shortstop, so they're not going to keep both of them on. Yeah. So I was hell bent. I still do believe Tyler Wade makes the team, but I think I was telling you this earlier. Tyler Wade is going further and further into obscurity because Monday, who did the Yankees start at shortstop? Labor got the day off. Who did they put there?
You said it was
Gio Urshela. They said we need him to play shortstop just to see what he looks like, because it's no longer about we have Tyler Wade, we're gonna throw him in there. If Gleyber gets hurt long term, there's no shortstops readily available. Which team is just readily has a shortstop there? You'd have to go trade with the Indians because they have Jimenez, Ahmed Rosario, they have some dude in AAA, whatever like that. So they said long term we could just move Gio to short,
I guess,
and then put Dietrich or Andujar at third, which is fine with me.
Or DJ at third and bring Voit back to first. That's been their main starter lineup.
Voit is the first baseman. DJ is our second baseman. So it's not even like up for debate. So at worst,
but then you could move Wade to second if you needed him.
That's the thing. If they're trying to keep Wade out the lineup, they're not going to do all that just to put Wade back at second base.
Then you put Dietrich at second. I mean, like the good thing about this Yankees infield is, aside from Gio, who they're trying to see where his other location could be, other than third, all those other guys play every other position. Besides first base, it's usually limited to Ford, Voit, and DJ. But they can play everywhere else. Rotate them.
In order for Dietrich to even be on the team, it means Tyler Wade is not on the team.
Right.
Because Jay Bruce is going to be on the team.
But he's playing mostly outfield.
And first base.
If needed. I mean, right. Okay. But he comes up, right, and then there's no room for a second infielder or backup infielder. So then is Wade the one guy that we got to rely on?
Yes, which is why they're trying Gio out at shortstop, so that worst case scenario, if Glaber gets hurt for like the season, you're not trading for anybody. No. They're saying screw Tyler Wade. We can't go out with Tyler Wade at shortstop. Put Gio at shortstop for the rest of the season and put Andujar at third, or call up Dietrich, put him at third, or and Tyler Wade, you're still sitting on the bench because we can't trust you to get a hit ever. Even though he has 2 doubles this spring training, they're probably slow grounders to the left fielder that he just turned into a double or something.
Meaningless.
But you understand, like I still think the Yankees are if we get 5 bench bats, which we might, because it's I think they said the most you could have is 13 pitchers, so we might have 13 hitters.
They did say,
So that puts us 8, 9, and then still 4. No matter which way you cut it, it's still 4 bench bats. So you have to have a backup catcher.
Oh, for the DH, duh.
Yeah. So it's still backup catcher,
DH, and then backup catcher, infielder, first baseman, and then someone else,
and then somebody else, and that somebody else is Gardner. So,
it's gonna be Gardner. They wouldn't start with him outside of the because it would either be him or Talkman, and Talkman's gonna start down.
Talkman has options, so they can send him down.
Yeah,
or trade him. Gardner has a major league contract. He can't get sent down unless he accepts.
No, and they wouldn't do that either.
They would never. It's the Gardy party. It's
probably his last year with the Yankees. They couldn't do that to him. Hit that dugout ceiling. Listen, the last thing that the Yankees have to get through now is their setup man / closer, potentially, is Zach Britton. Like, out of nowhere, you find out that he's got bone spurs in his pitching elbow, I think, too. So 6 to 8 weeks. He says he's feeling fine. He's set to start throwing, I think, next week, but that's a stinger, to say the least, considering, Chapman is pending, and it could only be a short suspension, but I'd rather have Britton Chapman combo set up when we need them the most, right? We're going to play a lot of games that are going to come down to the wire, and they have been our thunder and lightning, nickel and dime, peanut butter and jelly, like, for the last 2 years. The last 2 years, it's been mostly them. I don't know. I'm gonna be mad that Britton's out for a while. I still think the Yankees have a good reliever, good staff set up to hold their own, especially to start the season. It hasn't been too long, and it's they've been given the proper amount of time for baseball prep this season. Looking forward to it. Can't wait for April 1st.
What's his name? Litge. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Luetge. He's a guy that the Yankees have been looking at for a couple of years. They finally signed him. He's in the bullpen, and he has, I think, 7 innings pitched, 13 Ks.
Jeez.
I think he has 7 innings pitched, 13 Ks this preseason. So you already know he's a stud. And he might crack the bullpen now because Zach Britton's hurt. So then you have him you have Chapman. So Chapman, Green is going to be the setup guy. Yeah. You have Johnny Lasagna. You have Justin Wilson. You have
Darren
O'Day. That's 5.
Sessa.
You need 3 more. So you have Sessa. You have Michael King. Who else? One other guy. Oh, that's Litge.
Luke Litge.
It's either gonna be Litge or Tyler Lyons, because we need another lefty. So I'm excited because he's a stud right now, bro.
That looks good. He's come in a couple of the last couple games too.
13 Ks in like 7 innings, bro. That's like 2 an inning.
That's not bad.
That's amazing.
Schedule, yeah. I mean, listen, spring training. I want to give him credit, obviously, but yeah,
but he's not coming in like the 9th inning.
Lucas Letke. No,
he's coming in like the 4th, 5th inning where the starters are still in the game, and he's shoving. They want to see him. They've been looking at him for years.
How long is years? He's 33 years old.
he hasn't pitched in the majors since 2015.
Okay.
Because he had Tommy John, and he came back. He was a shoving, but the A's bullpen last year was amazing. So he didn't pitch. He was in the minors. They didn't have a lot.
Yeah, he actually doesn't have a lot of service time, is what it's looking at. Because he's 33 years old, but he's only in his fourth season. So he's been in the minors for a while. You said he had Tommy John in 2015?
2015, he missed 2 years. 2 whole seasons, and then 2019, after pitching in 2018, 2019 and 2020, I think he was on the A's, so the Yankees couldn't get him. And they weren't going to trade with the A's for no reason. He wasn't going to crack the bullpen last year anyway.
That's not bad. Yeah, he started out with Seattle. He had how many appearances? It was like 63, 2012. Came in as reliever, 38 Ks.
Yep.
Next year, 27 Ks on 35 appearances. That's good. Those are numbers from a while ago, and obviously he's a lot older now. But, for a Yankees relief staff that is fairly good, if we need him, then we'll pull him in. It's not that hard for relievers, especially nowadays. You're mostly pitching an inning, 3 batters at least. So
you have to do 3 now, which sucks.
Yeah, you have to do 3.
Yeah.
It hurts the strategy of it, I guess, but kind of moves the game along. That's the other productive part that they want from the MLB. But those are the most of your weekly updates. Dodgers, Royals, I think I saw it, were at the top of the standings for the Cactus League. Yankees are still sitting pretty at the top of the grapefruit. And there's a pretty big jumble of teams that have been kind of like up and down. Again, you can't really rely on spring training for the overall. It's a mess. I can't wait for April 1st. I said it already. I'll say it again. I'll say it for every minute of every day because it can't come any sooner.
What's that?
Baseball, we need it back.
Next Thursday? No, 2 Thursdays from now.
Is 2 Thursdays from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
31 days in March. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Episode 10 of the DROD and Shaniac podcast. We have been your boys, DROD. I don't have a last name.
I'm Shaniac.
The Helmer. Please keep subscribing, checking out, listening in, liking our content. We're still all over YouTube. We got a lot of good content on YouTube, guys. Really, you need to put a face to the name, to the voice, and to the name, because really, those little 3-minute clips, bro, I'd be dying.
Yeah,
watch those clips, I'd be dying. And I listen to podcasts like Long Drive, Long Walk, whenever you want to listen to a podcast, it's a good listen. We really got good content, and we got a lot more good content for you guys coming up. Again, we're still on Podbean, Spotify, iHeart, Apple. What's the fourth? Pandora. That's the outside of Podbean that we distribute. But yes, sir, we got a lot more content coming for you guys. And just like that, episode 10, DROD and Shaniac podcast. Keep tuning in. Check out Shane's content. Follow us on Twitter at DROD and Shaniac. I am at DannyRod75. Shane is...
I'm at @A_Shane.
Damn, I got the lip read just in case we need it. Peace, y'all. It's been real.
All right, well, later.